On then, ladies and gentlemen, stand by your beds, strap in and hold tight. It's the Euro B Championship final about to get underway, and we are underway. Krzyzewski with a good start, but Ali has fallen back a couple of positions on the early start. When he regained them in great fashion, though. He regained one of them. He's up to third, but Yannick Nemizlo slipped past him on the start. That's been a very popular place to start. And so in the early going then, Kaya Ali's actually had another spin though in the first few hairpins. So Ali having a disastrous start. I wonder if the pressure is too much to bear on his shoulders. But he's got a long time to recover though. Oh, and a bit of contact in the middle of the start-finish area. 2 or 3 cars, one up and over there. I think that was the 9 car of Atis Biliur. It was contact between Ali and Semezla, which caused that incident there. But meanwhile, Tom Krzyzewski and Yannick Nemizlo have just run away up front and have put in the early smackdown on this field. But third place is Kasab Ahmet. He's moved up rather nicely in the early going, profiting from the mistakes of others. Sprengheli fourth. Bearing in mind that you're going to have to beat him on pace, because he's certainly not going to make any mistakes out there. Umanov's 2 minutes hoping to do that. And just as I say that, I didn't know my commentary tricks was that good. I think that's the first mistake we've seen all week from Sprengheli. Mark that one down in your scrapbooks, because that is not something that happens every day. A mistake from Heli. He flips in the first kind of S section at the start of the lap, and it just appeared to me like he put too much steering in and it flipped the car up and over. Very easy to do with these cars. Let's have a look at it on the VRC Pro replay. And he just went for the turn in. Oh, he braked and then the rear end spun round on him under braking and it flipped up and over and he was turned turtle. That's cost him a lot of positions there.
Grip roll, as it's known in the trade.
Grip roll, thanks very much for the phrase there. Also, that looks like Kaya Ali's car being returned to the lane. Oh, what a disaster. What a disaster. For the star of Superpole. Surely it can't already be all over. He'll run back to his pit bunker. See if it can get it refired. I think that's what they're trying to do. That car has not ran well since the start of the race. Something has been off with that car from the very start. They're desperately trying to get it refired. But I think it might well be a lost cause. I have a horrible feeling it's going to be a lost cause. Either way, let's hope we can keep it going as we watch the leaders come through. That is the number 1 car of Krzyzewski, who's been pretty much invincible off the start of this race. He's done exactly what he needs to do. He's gapped Nemizlo by 4.2 seconds early in this race. They're only 6 laps in, remember. Barely 5 minutes in. Once the pit stop cycle gets underway, that's where the race starts to take on an even more interesting complexion. But it already has, because Krzyzewski has flipped at the EFRA hairpin. It took too much of the rumble strips off there. Good recovery. The marshals recovered him quickly, but he has still lost the lead. It's now Nemizlo up to the lead. And I believe Cengiz Semezla is a lap car, so Krzyzewski has fallen to second. But suddenly out of nowhere, those rumble strips really do punish you rapidly there. And he was trying to lap Atis Biliur, but suddenly Krzyzewski lost all grip there. He took too much out of the chicane. Let's have a look at the VRC Pro replay. The rumble strip was trying to come to the inside of Biliur, tried to go right up on the rumble strip. He clipped it at just the wrong angle and it tipped him up and over. And just like that previous instant, up onto his roof. And he struggled and he lost some time there. The marshals were on the case to get him going again. But in that time, he still lost the lead to Yannick Nemizlo. Nemizlo and Krzyzewski, this is like a rerun of qualifying all over again. When Krzyzewski slipped early in qualifying, Nemizlo was there to pounce. But then Krzyzewski worked his way back with a series of impervious performances. So, as they run at the moment, I can see Nemizlo coming through. Krzyzewski's there, not far behind. Marshall's running across the track. I have a feeling the number 10 car is in trouble. One of the hairpins, there it was, just to the left of shot there. But we keep our eyes on the leaders. Number 10 was Alex Siorek, so he was in trouble in one of the barriers, the opening hairpin. But here is your battle for the lead. And I think that was a lap car in there. That was the number 9, I think, of Atis Biliur. Meanwhile, Nemizlo continues to lead, but Krzyzewski's right there with him. Krzyzewski comes to the lane. He comes into the pits. So I wonder if that was a little bit tactical, going for the earlier pit stop with his rival, try and go for the undercut. Of course, they're not changing tyres yet. They will likely change them only once in this final. Some may try and go without a tyre change, but it's very, very unlikely. We were speaking with the drivers after the action yesterday in Superpole, particularly Dominic Greiner and Timu Lino, two of the most experienced, Lino in particular, one of the most experienced competitors out there. He was talking about the wear rates, how it wasn't necessarily high wear on the cars, but it was strange wear rates. They didn't wear quite as you'd expected. Is that a change for the lead there? I think it was. Yes, it was a little mistake from Nimislo coming out of the pit lane. Has gifted the lead back to Krugevski. You get a feeling it's almost going to be like mistake pong out there at the moment. They're going to be batting the lead back and forth between each other. When one slips, the other one is going to pounce. And it's who on earth is going to be in front when the music stops. Who can focus in their concentration and who can get the job done. At the moment, it is really anybody's. Kasabamet representing the home crowd in third. He's a little bit behind these guys and starting to lose touch with them, but still a solid run so far. And then back through it's Oztumen, Bilur, Heli, Sayoruk, Semesla, Tokur and Ali, whose race unfortunately I think has come to an end early, which is a real shame for the youngster who did such a sensational job in Superpole. It seems a shame for his race to have come to an end early, although in fact I can see his car still out there rotating, circulating rather, but of course he's multiple laps behind now, so if he wants to avoid the wooden spoon, he'll be probably hoping for mistakes from those in front of him or to make up that speed on the track. I think Cengiz Semesla just had a mistake down in front of us here. As we continue to watch the lead battle, Semesla looked like he locked up and went straight through the alternative start-finish area. You'll just see it there, just at the bottom of your shot. That's where rolling starts. There it is. That's also where the stop-and-go penalty area was, but Semesla was not taking a penalty. He actually backed out of the entry and back onto the track, so that was certainly by accident. I think he locked up into that final sequence of corners. As we continue to watch Krugevski just start to get a little gap on Nimislo. I have a feeling that Nimislo just has slightly less raw pace than Krugevski, but Nimislo's consistency has not been in any doubt throughout the entire week. He's been right on form, bang on the money, and Krugevski is going to have to be the same if he wants to complete this B Championship. And I think I can see Kaya Ali's car being retrieved again over on the right hand side of the track. It's coming through from the marshals. It's just down below the shot now, and it's back towards the pit lane now. Ali's car, what a sad sequence. As once again it's being run back. Do we see those guys out there again? I really hope so. I hope Ali can at least make the finish. It doesn't feel fair that the Superpole winner and the hero to some of the home fans here to go out this way, as Krugevski aggressively making his way through lap traffic. That's exactly what he has to do. The lap traffic are cooperating. The referee's hot on it here in EFRA events. They always are. Krugevski taking no chances. He's not waiting for them to get out of his way. He is controlling this race from the front and making this race his. As I said in the press conference yesterday, he seemed supremely confident and looked in really fine fettle mentally and in terms of his car setup. His car looks very strong. It was impervious in qualifying, and I think it's getting to the stage where it's going to take a mechanical issue or a hitherto unseen lapse in concentration, a mistake to deny him, or it could take something like that. Atis Bilur rotating in front of him, and he just avoided him. Ninja reflexes there. Good job, Krugevski. He's starting to gap Nimislo now up to 4 seconds, but of course he has already made one mistake in this race. That flip at the hairpin, which he's just coming to now. The EFRA hairpin through, round. This time he's a lot cleaner, and in fact he is actually coming up to lap Bülent Tokur, who he had issues with earlier in the race. In fact he's not. He's coming into the lane for his second pit stop of the day, of the race. Simple bit of fuel, in and out. Lovely job. That's exactly what you want. The minimum fuss, minimum panic. He's got some lap cars in front of him, and I think that threw our cameraman off for just a second. But there he is. He's back, going onto the back straight now, and he's just behind Bülent Tokur. In fact, that's Yannick Nimislo, who is your leader for now. But of course, he didn't pit at the same time as Krugevski, so Nimislo is in the lane now. That's his stop. So Krugevski should flash through at the top of your picture. And a slightly slower stop, I think, for Nimislo. He gets back out, and that was an incident there. Was that Krugevski who made a mistake? No, it wasn't. It was Atis Bilur, the similarly white car. At first glance, it looked similar, but Nimislo has come out about 4 seconds behind the leader, Krugevski. So Krugevski is up the road from this. Krugevski's lead looks fairly solid for now, and he's adding to it with every round of pit stops and doing a very solid job so far. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, today's day I decided to get a sinus infection. There could have been better days, but hey, it will not stop us bringing you all the action from this B final, the European Championships. And this is the B Championship that has brought you some of the biggest names in the touring car discipline. Looks like some fairly strident debate happening down in the pit lane. And there's a car being retrieved. That is the number 10 of Alex York, one of the last chance qualifiers. Now his car being returned to the lane. Looking for some tweaks on that car, looking to work on the car. What is wrong with that car? We're not entirely sure. But we go back to the lead battle. Krzyzewski continues to lead this one, and he's just putting gap after gap on Nimislo, lap after lap. It is a slow dominance, slow crush scheme. 35 minutes to go, or just under 35 minutes to go now. Sejorik's car, I think, is back in the race. It is. Sejorik's car back in the race. So Krzyzewski, you see going through those corners. That's Krzyzewski's car. Not far behind him actually is Spreng-Heli, who's recovering well from his first mistake all week. Typically, I had to say that he's had an impervious week, and then immediately he makes me look like a fool. But, and again, Krzyzewski nearly comes a cropper as Atis Bilieu having some issues in this race, I have to say. He's not got into his rhythm at all, but luckily Krzyzewski is staying well out of his way. He's about to put a lap on Kaya Ali, which he does. Ali stays out of his way. Nice job, and a real shame for Ali that his race has not gone the way he'd wanted to at all. But as I say, I hope that car still makes the finish. All of this will be good experience for the youngster, and he's a driver I think we're going to see a lot more of in the future, which is great news for Turkish RC fans who have embraced this event spectacularly at the F-Mod Arena. They are in possession of one of the finest RC racing venues certainly I've seen, and the world over. It literally caters to every taste of RC enthusiast, from the tarmac track you see in front of you, which is a fantastic flowing circuit designed by Michael Salvan, one of the most successful RC racers of the generation. This track designed by him, and it's a great layout. They've also got an off-road facility here as well, an off-road track which is equally fun and technical. You've also got an RC airfield, two enormous runways, almost big enough to land full-scale planes on them. Oh, that was close from Krzyzewski. Just came back to the action. Alex Sejorik's car stalled right on the apex, and he had to slice basically over the top of the rumble strip to avoid him. Again, quick reflexes from Krzyzewski. I've been very impressed with just how many times he's got himself out of trouble just through sheer reflex alone. But continuing, there's a little bit of contact behind them. That's Kaya Ali behind. Ali was around in the hairpins near the end of the lap. We continue to follow Krzyzewski as he continues to march on. I'm just having a look through the order to see where the battles are at the moment. But the field is spread for the most part. See if we can pick up Spreng-Heli, who's still in 5th. And where is Spreng-Heli as they go around the track? Well, I know where Krzyzewski is. He's in through the pits. Krzyzewski's in the lane. There's Kaya Ali, still marching on, and there is Spreng-Heli. Spreng-Heli 5th then. And I told you you'd have a solid afternoon. Very rare you see mistakes from him, so note that one down for the record books. September 5th, 2015, the day that Spreng-Heli made a mistake. It does happen. But he's still marching on in 5th place, and he's not far behind Umanos Tuman either, so a 4th place could be on. A good 4th place could be in the offing here. But Heli certainly being solid as usual. The wind, I'm noticing, is starting to get up a little bit more. Now Heli's in the lane. Into the pits. A little bit of fuel. In. Out. There you go. That is pit stop 101 in the 110th discipline. That's all you need to do. Clean and super smooth as the field has spread somewhat. We are 15 minutes in to the B final of the EFRA 110th IC Track European Championships. You are watching live on RC Racing TV. Our coverage presented by HB Europe, D'Agostini Model Space, VRC Pro, of course the organisers of this event, EFRA, all the official media partners of EFRA, and it's a pleasure to be broadcasting on their race events. So Krzyzewski continues to lead. Kasap Ahmed has scored us up in 2nd, but I wonder if that's because of pit stop cycles and what has happened to Nimislo. Let's see if we can find Kasap Ahmed's car on the track. It's the number 4. In there for a second. There's a lot of cars out there and a lot of action. There's a car upside down over in the turn just to the left of you, Matt. Just to the left there. The marshal's retrieving it. There it is. I think that's Cengiz Semesler. Yes, it is. He was upside down on the inside of the corner, so I think he had an issue a couple of corners before that and flipped over the barrier. Marshall was on the ball though and got him back on the right part of the track, so Semesler had a little bit of an issue there. He's down in 8th place. His final has not gone the way he wanted to at all, and I think that is the case for a lot of drivers out there. The incredible heat and the incredible conditions prevailing, the changeable track conditions. Some of the most experienced drivers in this field talking about how they've never quite witnessed a track that changes quite so much between each session, with dirt and dust being blown through from the fields and forests surrounding the facility, or the heat baking down on the track. Remember the substances that the cars are putting down as well, tyre rubber, burnt off fuels. It's all combining to make a constantly evolving, ever-changing track surface, and the best drivers are the ones who are able to anticipate the setup changes and still keep their car fast no matter what. And the Mislo has cycled back up to 2nd place, by the way, so I assume that was just in the pit stop cycle where Kasabamet went off. We've got an instant for Atis Biliur down here in the start-finish area. It's just been retrieved by the marshals. He's just going through the first few hairpins now. Biliur has really struggled a bit in this final, and he's trying to work his momentum back in. Clearly the setup on that car just not where it wants to be. He snuck through into the final as the last of the qualifiers, but it's really not gone the way he wanted to, and a finish I think now is all he can hope for. He's still running 6th, which is not too bad, but certainly he's had one too many incidents for his liking, a lot too many incidents for his liking, I should say. So he won't be entirely happy with that, but if he can still bring it home to the finish, I think a lot of these guys will be pleased with their efforts. Let's pick up our 2nd place runner, Yannick Nemislo. He's the white number 3 car coming through the first few hairpins. There he is, right in the middle of his shot. Nemislo, solid performance, solid run, and he is waiting for something to happen. In fact, he just had to avoid a car in the middle of the track. That's Kaya Ali's car again. That car has been a bedrock of bad luck all the way through this race. It's just been one issue after another for the number 2 car and the winner of Super Pole, but he'll be race hardened from this experience and toughened by it. So we hope to see him again at many more championships in the future, and I think if he's got the temperament and the skills to come out of nowhere and win Super Pole in only a 2nd full event, I think he's going to be one for the future and one to watch for a very long time. As Nemislo continues to truck on in 2nd place, he's now upwards of almost 30 seconds down on Tom Krugevski. I tell you what, Nemislo, he was quick. When you take Krugevski out of the equation, he has been fast this week. But once you put Krugevski back in, and once Krugevski gets his game face on, there is really not much stopping him. And I think the way Krugevski's going, there's one to watch for a long time in the future. If this B Championship is where a lot of the stars of the future are created, then I think you've got a chance with Krugevski of watching a guy moves up. Now remember, everyone who makes this final will not be able to go into the B Championships basically from here on out. They will have officially kind of stamped their license, if you will, and qualified to move up into the A ranks. And I think there's some talent in this field that can really run with the Wolves in the full A class, which we're going to see the final of after the conclusion of this B final. So we're going to wait for it, and we're going to watch. There was a little bit of an incident in the middle of the bus stop, by the way. I just saw it off of shot. Bülent Tokur and I think Kaya Ali came together. More pit stops. And there was a car being retrieved over on the back straight as well. So it is all happening, and the Nemislo though trucks on with a sort of unbound peace, a sort of serenity about him, which is weird given that the conditions and the nature of this event should all bring together to make this the most unserene of events possible. And the fact he just continues to glide on is a great show of strength and temerity for the driver, as we have another round of pit stops underway. And certainly he's not quite had the pace to live with Krugevski, but he's in that position where if Krugevski stumbles and falls, he'll pounce and he'll be a Euro B champion. It's that simple at this point in time. It looks like to be a straight battle between Krugevski and Nemislo, and at around halfway in this race it seems that Krugevski has just about enough of an advantage on his main rival, fellow German.
position for 20 minutes. 1, 3, 7, 4, 5, 9, 10, 6, 8, 2.
So the action continues here, and I can feel, what is interesting to note is I can really feel the breeze starting to pick up. I can actually hear it in the driver's stand above us in our commentary box here in the main race control building here at the F-Mod Arena. You can almost feel the wind buffeting through the structure, and it is starting to get stronger out here, and it has been the case for the last few days that the wind has played a factor, and it won't really play so much of a factor for the cars themselves, more so the drivers, because the cars themselves are so small and low slung that normally any sort of wind shouldn't affect them too much unless they sort of get up on two wheels, in which case then it may play a factor. But otherwise it's been pretty much more about the drivers maybe being affected by the wind. They can't have anything affecting their concentration, and the wind blowing in your face is probably a big factor as Krzyzewski comes in for another stop. And again, fuel in. And is this a tyre change commencing? It better hope to be, because otherwise this is taking far too long for a regular pit stop, as the car stalled in the lane as he flamed out in the lane. This could be a game changer here, ladies and gentlemen. What was just a routine stop for Tom Krzyzewski has gone hideously wrong.
I think it is a routine stop. I think it's tyre change because the car's the other way around now. Yeah, we just... Yeah, it was. Tyre change.
I hope you're absolutely right. It's just, I saw some guys practicing. Oh, well, that is not in the script. He ran wide coming out. I think it's because we saw some practice tyre stops in the lunch break, and it looked different to that. They sort of flipped the car up on their side to change the tyres. So when it turned round like that and it was on the starter box, I feared the worst. I think you're right.
Yeah, we've seen some the different teams use different methods for changing the tyres. Unlike Formula 1, where it's all changed in exactly the same way, obviously having a much lighter, more manoeuvrable RC car, they can take the choice. So there was the flat method that we just saw. You can tip the car on its sides, use that, or I did actually see one team earlier with some kind of contraption, almost like a jig that they put the car in that makes sure it's in the same place every time, whilst two people change the tyre. So yeah, there's no restrictions on how they do it.
There's many different ways to go about it, and everyone will be trying their own methods to try and get an advantage out of it. So, panic over, panic averted, false alarm, ladies and gentlemen. Krzyzewski continues to lead then. That was Bülent Tokur just running off in front of Yannick Nemizlo, who is still tracking on in second. Of course he has. The way it's going, death, taxes, and Nemizlo trucking on without making any mistakes are the only three things you can guarantee as inevitabilities in life. Nemizlo is still going. Sprenghelly's still in fifth meanwhile. But even he has been prone to a mistake out here today, which I never thought I'd see. And meanwhile, Kasabamet is the third place runner as Nemizlo comes into the lane. Now let's see, is he going for a tyre stop as well? No, doesn't look it. That's a fuel stop. So he gets back out and underway. You'd think then, unless he has already made his tyre change, or will do later in the race, that he could have gained some advantage back on Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski is still really nowhere to be found, and he's quite far up the road. So Krzyzewski's advantage is such that it's almost, he can do what he likes at this stage. His strategy is in his hands. That's exactly how you want to win a European Championship. Meanwhile, down in the lane, I can just see Bülent Tokur's car being worked on. Now that is a tyre change definitely going on there. You can see that. Car tipped on from one side, and then tyres being changed out there. That's also going to affect the concentration of the garage and the pit crew members down there as well, remember, as the wind getting more and more gusty, more and more breezy, and that's the problem. Sudden gust of wind can distract you. Great concentration. You drop one of those screws or lug nuts for the wheels, and that puts you behind the 8 ball. It's a great shot there on the cameras to show you what a pit stop looks like, a tyre change stop looks like. For the professionals, for the very top end of the Euro A class, they will be a lot quicker than that. But in a way, that's a nice demonstration of how a tyre change stop normally works. As I say, for Krzyzewski's stop, it looks a bit different to me, so I wondered if there was some sort of issue. A stop-go penalty, meanwhile, just below the camera there for Atis Bilur. He takes off there. A penalty for Bilur. I'm not sure what the penalty would have been for. It might be for some sort of pitch issue. We've also got a car, well, we did have a car off down near the first few corners. It is the car coming through shot. Will be in a minute. It's the number 4 of Kasab Ahmed, actually. Ahmed's car is the red and white number 4 car, which has just flipped spectacularly. Massive wipeout, but he does recover. Another incident for him. And you have to wonder then just how far back Umar Oztumen is. I'm going to say stick with Kasab Ahmed for a moment, Matt. I'm just going to watch the third place car. And I'm also going to let you know, as Bülent Tokur's stop is still ongoing, but we watched the third place car. I'm just working out where the fourth place car is on the track. Umar Oztumen. And I think, yes, thanks James, he's just answered my question for me. He's just come through the start finish line now. He's about a third of a lap behind, I'd say. About a quarter of a lap maybe. So, healthy gap, third to fourth. The field has spread slightly from the start, which is a slight shame. We're looking forward to a good battle with a lot of incidents in the early part of the race. And the car we're watching right now is Cengiz Semezler's car. He's running 7th right now. Down the order a bit more. 9 laps behind the leaders. A big spread in this class. And it looks like Kaya Ali's race did end prematurely in the end, which is a real shame. As I say, he's definitely a driver I think we're going to see a lot more of in the future. And I look forward to watching his progress. Bülent Tokur's fallen to the tail of the field now as well after his lengthy stop. That car just going through shot there is the number 4, the third place car of Kasab Ahmed. So there will still be some joy for the Turks here. And that car that we're focused on is Yannick Nemizlo. Or is that Artis Biliur? It's hard to tell from a distance. That is actually Biliur's car, sorry. Biliur, another guy who's raced, really did not pan out the way he's wanted to. But he's still trucking on solidly. He's going to be 6th. No, he's still 6th out of this at the moment. Meanwhile, your leader has just come through the start-finish area and has just lapped the third place car, Kasab Ahmed. There is Tom Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski's march continues. This has been a formidable charge, a formidable race. Big wreck elsewhere on the track for Cengiz Semezler, but Krzyzewski continues to truck on. And I'll tell you what, the way it's going, the more of a lead he builds up, which at the moment is a considerable one, the more he's going to relax and the more confident he's going to feel. Because even if he does make a major mistake at this point, he's got a lot of time in hand. And in fact, on our time screens, it's showing he's got almost a lap on Yannick Nemizlo. I don't think he's got quite that much. Nemizlo's just come into the pit lane beneath us. So it's about half a lap between them anyway before the stops commence. So Krzyzewski continues his march on. I wonder if part of this was changing to fresh tyres earlier than Nemizlo did. Certainly, it's doing the job right now. Those tyres will be made to work hard on this surface, which is a fairly sticky but also a surface that is getting a lot of materials down on it and a lot of substances being put down on it from the Coca-Cola that's put down on the track every morning and to sugar the track up. We've also got the substances like the burnt off fuel, tyre rubber and sunshine and dust from the local fields blown onto it, so it's quite a combustible mix, James.
Just for legal reasons, there are other cola brands available.
Indeed, that is not the other cola brands are indeed available.
But I hear Coke works best on racetracks.
Yes.
Coca-Cola.
Yes, indeed. And that is what they use here at the track at the F-Mod Arena. It's a fascinating facility right in the middle of the shot there. See the field filtering through the first few corners. And I think just behind Bülent Tokur there in the middle there is the pink and white number 7 car. He's just coming up through the bus stop chicane. Now be the second of those 2 cars in his shot. There he is. That is the 4th place car of Umar Oztumen. He just hasn't quite put it together here in this battle, and he'll come up agonisingly short in his quest for a podium. But he'll come out of this one with good experience. As I say, this whole field, none of this field you'll see back to defend their B title next year because, hey, they'll have qualified for the A's. They'll be up scrapping with those guys. So these guys will all be better off for the experience. Okay, they may not get a trophy out of this one, but they will have qualified to move up into the premier rank of European RC competition. And they'll be stronger for it. Oh my word, that was very close there from Haluk Sioruk, who's certainly not battling Oztumen for position. Sioruk is multiple laps down in 8th, but he went for the aggressive move there. I don't think it was quite intentional, but he'll take it nonetheless. Meanwhile, that car right behind, or just moving past the number 7 car of Oztumen, is indeed Krzyzewski, putting a 5th lap on Umar Oztumen, 5 laps ahead of 4th 4th place, 4 laps ahead of 3rd, 1 lap ahead of 2nd. This is an all-crushing performance from Krugevski, who's just massacring everything in front of him. It's an awesome performance, really, as he comes in for one of his last few pit stops. Fuel in, back in, and there you go. It's as simple as that. Well, Tom Krugevski makes it look that simple, as does his team down there, who are doing a sterling job as he moves past Izmir to lap him again. And I just got this sense in the press conference yesterday when we were talking to Tom Krugevski. He looked full of authority and full of confidence, and he's certainly not the most senior figure in the garage, of course not, and he's a relative newcomer to the B scene, the B final scene, but the way he marched his way through qualifying, those all conquering performances, having started on the back foot, let's be honest, he started on the back foot with losing the early heats to Yannick Mislo. He had some little issues befall him, but from about 2nd or 3rd round onwards, it just became win after win after win. There was no one even close to him in terms of raw qualifying pace. And then for Krugevski, he has not been heated in the race. Even Yannick Mislo, who may have had the 1 lap pace to match Krugevski, was his closest rival in qualifying. The likes of Kaya Ali. Well, Kaya Ali's race never got going, so we never really knew what he'd have in store for Krugevski, if anything, as he just laps. I think that's the 3rd place car he's just lapped. So there you go, another lap on 3rd place from Krugevski on the 3rd place runner Kasab Ahmet. But the tone and the feeling I got from him last night was one of quiet, supreme confidence. There is a difference between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is believing that you are far better than you are, or trying to make yourself believe that you are better than you are. And confidence is knowing that you really are that good and you do have the potential to win, and knowing exactly what you have to do to get there. And that is the exact sense I got from Krugevski speaking to him last night in the press conference. He was composed, nerveless, and considering the unbreakable concentration of a lot of the A-class runners and a lot of the more experienced heads in European RC racing competition, that is going to serve him well for his inevitable move up to the A ranks. And I have a feeling there are many of these guys you're going to see around the scene for a long time to come. Krugevski is one, and if I had to put my money on anyone, well, he's going to be a champion, of course. The way he's going, he's got 12 minutes to go and a huge margin over anyone else near him. But if and when perhaps he becomes champion of the B discipline, then I have a feeling he's got a very good shout of doing a Dirk Wisniewski, winning the B and overall A titles in consecutive years. He's got some traffic to deal with, slices past them rather nicely. Bülent Tokur just gets in his way a little bit, but then Tokur almost runs himself off the track trying to avoid it. Alex Siorik's car was just off to the side of the road there, just for a brief moment as Krugevski flew past him. Krugevski, in the eye of the storm, under the most searing of heat and incredible pressure, has just thrived. It seems that he's one of those ultimate race drivers who thrive the more pressure you put on him. He's one of those sportsmen that delivers on the biggest occasions. And for him, winning this trophy would probably be his biggest achievement to date. But I have a feeling it wouldn't be the pinnacle of a career. It'll be the first footnote in a career full of standout highlights as he moves smoothly through the bus stop again. 72 laps in the books and counting. And we've still got just over 11 minutes to go in this B final of the EFRA 110th IC Track European Championships. We're bringing you every second of the coverage here on finals day in Izmir in Turkey on RC Racing TV. I'm Adam Johnson along with James Parry and Matt McCallum, the RC Racing TV team out here in Turkey this weekend. We've had a fantastic time. We've enjoyed the hospitality and the setting of this marvellous country, city and venue, and we are enjoying watching finals day unfold, and we hope you are as well. I hope you're enjoying our coverage, brought to you in association with HP Europe, D'Agostini Model Space, VRC Pro and EFRA, of course. And another smooth stop from Krugevski. Not a flicker of nerves throughout the race, no hesitation from his crew. There was that false alarm, mainly for me, misrecognising what was in the end a routine tyre stop, but I would assume that something was going to go wrong on the Krugevski operation today. It really hasn't. That car there just in the middle of the track, facing the wrong way, I think was the 3rd place car of Ahmet. So Ahmet's still falling back continuously here, but I'm just wondering, as we're tracking Krzyzewski here, we'll continue to watch Krzyzewski for a moment, but I'm just going to have a look at the third place battle and the third place runners and see where they are in relation to each other on the track. Spreng-Heli is back up into 4th right now. We're still following Krzyzewski. I think Spreng-Heli is up to 4th again, but I still think he's not really within touching distance of third place car Kassam-Hamet. Kassam-Hamet's just coming through the start finish area now, the red and white number 4, and he's just ahead of Cengiz Semezler. There he is. So there's the third place runner, and he lets Semezler through. Smart, because Semezler's a good 5 or 6 laps down or behind Ahmet. And yeah, it was Spreng-Heli coming through now, but there is a good half a lap or so between them. It's hard to tell sometimes on the timing screens how they're changing, but Heli certainly is on the same lap or so with Ahmet, but he's still got a lot of work to do. So as we follow Ahmet's car, I'll have a look myself for where Heli's car is in relation. There is a good half a lap between the two of them, so it's going to take a major stumble from Ahmet to take to force a change of position at the bottom end of the podium. But it's been a solid run for Ahmet, and the home fans can be very happy with his efforts. Be good to see one of their own walk away with a trophy, and boy do they deserve it, because they have embraced this event. The F-Mod Arena has put on a fabulous event alongside EFRA, and the guys here at F-Mod, the F-Mod RC Club, have embraced EFRA and the European RC touring car community with open arms, including ourselves. We have been, I have to say, looked after very well from day one. The facilities here are top class, the track itself is world class, and the racing has been to match. That was not so world class though. A little mistake from Ahmet. I know he's got time on Spreng-Heli, but we all know that Heli is incredibly unlikely to make any mistakes. And in fact, Ahmet is in the lane. And what does Spreng-Heli do? Spreng-Heli stays out for another lap, and there's Spreng-Heli. So Heli, I think we'll have to pit again, obviously. I think these guys might have to pit maybe another time after this. But Heli's right there. Heli's on the attack. He cuts to the inside. A lovely move. That was clinical stuff. Heli right to the inside, and he's through to 3rd. And immediately what he's trying to do is pounce on Ahmet, as Ahmet's trying to get his rhythm back. I'm almost certain that Heli has to pit as well. But can Heli, could this be a pivotal moment? Heli is continuing on, but when he inevitably pits again, will he have enough of an advantage? He's taken off, and in fact, something's wrong on Ahmet's car. Ahmet's back in the lane. Ahmet's back in the lane. Something not right on that car. Did they get something wrong on that change? It's underway, and he actually hits Atis Biliur's car a little bit coming out of the lane. I think he actually turned him around there as well. So what a sudden and dramatic twist at the late end of this race. Here comes Spreng-Heli into the lane then. And it's not a good entry for him, really. Not perfect. Fuel in and out. And he's back away. And he's still, well, haven't the tables turned so quickly? Heli, not long ago, was a half a lap behind the third place runner, Rumen Oztumen. Now suddenly the tables have turned, and Heli is the one half a lap ahead of Oztumen. And I have to say, I think this is a massive credit to Heli's consistency. We saw that spin and flip earlier in the race, but all the way through this week, he's probably been aware that he's not the fastest over one lap compared to everyone else. We saw that more in Superpole, as he's just been lapped by Yannick Nemizlo. But almost certainly his consistency has really proven him well. He knows where his pace is comfortable, but having said that though, his car is behaving very strangely here. This is Spreng-Heli, the third place runner. That car is not behaving right at all. It looks to me like it's not turning the way he wants it to. He's miles away from every apex. That is the steering. There are issues on the steering of the third place car of Spreng-Heli. It is limping round. Can barely make any corner. He's going to have to come back to the pits. He's walking wounded out there. And as he comes back to the lane, something really not right with the steering on that car. I think that's the major issue. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Rumen Oztumen has gone back past him out on the track. So Rumen Oztumen now up to third place in this incredible battle. And he's gone. It's all over. It is all over for Spreng-Heli. What a disappointment. What a massive disappointment. After such unerring consistency, it's all ended this way. And it looked to me like some steering damage on that car. Well, they are looking around at the rear end of the car more than anything. It's hard to tell. Actually, someone else had actually walked off the driver's stand as well.
7, 5, 4.
But meanwhile, back on the track then, let's find your new third place runner. The position that no one wants right now. The number 7 of Uman Oztumen. Oztumen is, there he is. Oh, a bit of contact there as well. My word, that was Nemizlo.
I think the driver we saw walk off was Kasap.
Kasap Ahmet. Well, there you go, another contender. Both of the guys in the battle for third have fallen within minutes of each other.
I may be wrong, but his car still waits to go over the loop. It's been a long time. It must have been him.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And that would explain why Uman Oztumen has jumped up in front of both of them. Oztumen then suddenly, in the space of about 3 minutes, Sprengheli is out of the race then. He's gone. Oh no, sorry. My mistake. He's actually back out there. So, what does this change then? Well, he's 2 laps behind Uman Oztumen now. But he's still going to go out there and try and make the finish. As for Kasap Ahmed, I'm not so sure. I don't see his car still circulating. But let's follow this third place car. This is Uman Oztumen then. So the Turkish fans look like they will have something to celebrate after all. So Kasap Ahmed hit trouble. And then Sprengheli hit problems as well. And Uman Oztumen has jumped up into third. Heli's still circulating in fourth, but he is 2 laps behind Oztumen. So it is going to take a dramatic turnaround here, which is not unprecedented, of course. I've seen that multiple times already today on finals day. And I tell you what, someone is off at some point on the track. Someone is off over in the corners over there. Is that Atisbilieu? I think it is. Yeah, it is. His car keeps giving me a heart attack because it's white with some slight colour variations on it. So I keep thinking it's either Krugevski or Nemizlo. And his car really has been struggling out here in this final. It just has not been going well for him. But he is still trucking on and determined to make the finish, which is more than a few people, as below a Cengiz Semezler comes in to the lane for a last pit stop, a fuel stop. So then as we tick down into the final 3 minutes of the European B Final 2015, it's Tom Krugevski leading the way with a dominating performance. This has really been impervious stuff. It's been a mighty drive as Krugevski into the lane for what must be his final stop. This has got to be it now. Fuel, down and away. There you go. No nerves at all. It's very rare. There's always a chance something can go wrong in the lane, but it's very rare you see a team in a car that just never look like ever making a mistake in the lane. It's just incredible. Very unerring consistency and relentless speed and aggression out there. Ruthless aggression, you could say. And that is what's going to bring home Krugevski, as it looks like, barring an absolute travesty of a late mechanical problem. It looks like it's going to bring home the European B trophy to Tom Krugevski as he completes 92 laps and he's on his 93rd. Won't quite hit 100 laps in this session, but will come pretty close. It has still been an awesome effort, a great drive from the youngster from Germany. In fact, it's going to be a German 1-2 the way it's running. Yannick Nemizlo still second. Just hasn't quite had the pace on Krugevski all weekend. He'll still be happy with that. A second place and some silverware for his troubles. And after those dramas a few minutes ago, it is now Uman Oztumen in possession of third place. And it looks like a trophy will go to some of the Turkish home fans. A lot of their main contenders fell out. Mustafa Alp had a tough time of it in his A semi-final earlier. But Krugevski continues to march on. This has been a lesson in how to win finals at the very highest level of RC racing. Okay, it's the B final, but for this man it will probably be still one of the biggest races of his career to date. And what a way to close it out. What a way to make it look easy. This is probably one of the hardest races this young man will ever drive in, and certainly has driven in up until now. But he's making it look like an absolute cakewalk in the park. He's making it look like no one is here, no fans are in the stands. It's just him, his car, the track, and some other guys out for a Sunday drive. That's how easy he's making it look right now. And you've got to take a bow as Tom Krugevski. Got to tip your hat to this kid. A remarkable performance, full of confidence, full of verve, full of aggression. Where needed. We've talked a lot in this championship about how this track does not reward out-and-out aggression. It punishes out-and-out aggression. But you've got to find that balance between aggressive, brave driving and being smooth and compact with your style, making sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. Krugevski found that out to his cost early in the race, but was able to fight back as he moves past Bulent Tokur's car. We're into the final 10 seconds then, and Krugevski is on the run home. He's done all the hard work, and he has grafted all week long. All for this moment then. The moment he crosses the finish line and wins the European B Championship 2015 in the 1/10th IC track discipline. What an epic drive, what a mighty performance. And I have a feeling Matt's going to try and grab a word with the winner in a second. And you wonder what his emotions are going to be. Pure joy. He's still focused. He's yet to blink. I'm pretty sure in the final. I'm pretty sure he completed this race. There we go, it's all over. Sprengheli, as you can see, was still up on the driver's stand, so he did stay to the end of that race. But it doesn't matter. Look at that. Krajewski, now he breathes a sigh of relief. Only now does the unshakable concentration break, and he lets the emotion flow. Yes, young man, you may smile. You've put in an awesome performance here and clinched the European B Championship. And I wonder if Matt's going to try and grab a brief word with him here, or whether I'm going to straight away celebrate with his team. Here we go, let's see if we can hear from the podium finishers of an awesome B final.
Tom, can we have a quick word? European champion, congratulations.
Thank you.
What was it like out there?
Again, what?
What was it like out there running that long race?
Of course, it was a super long race. The temperature is super high, and it's also for the body and not so easy. But I could do it well, and I'm happy that the car works all 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm happy.
We saw many cars crashing, many cars breaking down, people losing concentration. How do you win on this track when everyone else around you seems to be losing the plot?
Of course, I want to push more in the first minutes, but I didn't. I just want to stay consistent all the time. Maybe at the end I want to do more, but the car was also not in this condition. But I'm happy with this run. Couldn't be better now.
Final question, because I'm sure you want to go and celebrate. What about your pit crew? They seem to work perfectly smoothly.
Yeah, we don't want to do any mistakes. We have enough time to do the pit stops, so we try to do it perfect and clean and not too fast.
Tom Krajewski, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. You just heard from your new European B champion, courtesy of Matt McCullum up there. And here is the final results, the tail of the tape then, in the European B Championship 2015. These are potential stars of the future of this division, and I think we've just seen the birthing of one in Tom Krajewski. Mighty performance, absolutely unflappable all week, consistently the strongest car out there, an impervious pit crew, an invincible driver, unshakable belief has all combined to bring him a title-winning performance with real chutzpah and verve. And I think we're going to be seeing him around the scene for a very, very long time. For now, he's going to be lapping up the celebrations, and well done to him too. As well,